You're watching Election 2019 coverage from WBONTV.com.
Candidate for state auditor Kelsey Coots was raised in Owensboro. Growing up, she says, in basketball gyms across western Kentucky as her grandfather coached basketball for decades. Coots said she learned growing up, most importantly, to show up for others. During her 2-minute sit-down, the candidate in the Democratic primary said she graduated from UK and instantly began teaching 8th grade language arts. She goes on to say the auditor's office is more than just a rubber stamp and that there needs to be the utmost of transparency in statewide government. The basis of the office, that she explains in her interview, which is crucial to Kentuckians, is that no hand should be taking from the taxpayers' money in the Commonwealth. Lastly, Coots said the goal is to cut down on corruption and to help make the office of auditor more transparent and easily accessible, as there exists a lot of confusion as to what the office actually accomplishes.
I was born and raised in western Kentucky. I'm the granddaughter of teachers, a medical receptionist, and of a Teamster long-haul truck driver, and I grew up in basketball gyms across Kentucky because my grandfather coached basketball at Owensboro High School for 37 years. One reason why I'm in this race is because, I was taught values like you and anybody else of honesty, compassion, and respect. But really the thing that was modeled most for me growing up in western Kentucky was the importance of showing up for others. And frankly, I think that, some of our leaders have stopped showing up for us. In the classroom, I'm an advocate for my students. Outside of the classroom, I'm an advocate for my colleagues and my profession. I frankly have never felt like I've been doing enough, because the Kentucky that I know, that I grew up in, has become unrecognizable. Multiple scholarly experts have come out to say that Kentucky is ranked the #1 corrupt state in the nation. And in my mind, that means that money that should be given or should be used for things like in public schools or to make our communities better are being pushed into deals for political donors for things that we don't need. Government works best in the light of day. And so for me right now, again, the #1 question I get is, what does the auditor do? And then even if you wanted to find out what the auditor does, the website looks like it was made in 1994. It's not very navigable, or accessible. And for me, again, I believe that that's why everything in my office has to do, or in my platform has to do with the democratization of the office. I think that we have a deficit in trust in government, and so my platform really is twofold. How do we increase transparency, strengthen accountability, and all of the strategic objectives that we've outlined underneath those umbrellas go back to trust. And it's all, frankly, about opening up government. It's about choosing somebody that cares more about what our Commonwealth can be versus who wins, who loses, or who gets credit.
You're watching Election 2019 coverage from WBONTV.com.